There's, I guess there's no ones here. Never mind though. Maybe they come by and say hi and then they go to sleep. Whatever. Now you might wondering why am I starting this stream very late? I just had dinner and a shower. Pretty late during the night. Everybody was probably sleeping right now because tomorrow's Monday. Good crazy. Astava, I don't know what can I say. So for anyone who stopped by here, then hi. My name is Kaydat and I am an aspiring and newbie illustrator and animator, which focus solely on whole life content and some other way around. And today was a very big day for me and to some other whole life fans in Vietnam. Maybe not in Vietnam, but mostly in thành phố Hồ Chí Minh, Ho Chi Minh City, because today there was a convention called Color Fiesta took place, and it's season 16, and team is Band Sắc, and it focus on Vietnamese traditional theme by clothes and stuff sessions. Now you might wondering why. I guess some of you might already know. This convention invites your whole life members, Shiowi Novella and Crazy Ollie to be a guest in today whole life meet. Like, we were first banned by your announcement. Like, we have no idea there goes such a way to invite whole life talents to a whole life meet in Vietnam. It was such an honor. It was such a big event we whole fans in Vietnam ever had. And what should I say? It was big, even though it just whole life meet. That's it. Because Vietnam is a very small country, and the economy here is not much high, and also we're in a very difficult situation where everything, the economy, the prices is hiking like crazy. Even the necessities like oil and food and drinks prices increase. Very depressing time we live in. So, if it happened, we just keep living on and on and on. I just hope people will stay positive like today. Sorry if my English may sound broken to you, because I try my best to speak English from start to finish. English is not my main language here. Sorry. So what should I draw today? Probably doing a little sketch. Probably should do a little sketch of Shiowi and Ollie here. Starting with the face. Alright, can only do sketching from now on. It's pretty late. It's over 11 p.m. in Vietnam. In Japan, it's a few hours earlier, or 2 hours later. Probably 1 a.m. in the next day. Pretty late. People might go into sleep by now. And I don't know what the hell am I doing in the stream. Like, no idea. Just doing drawing, talking to myself, like no one comes in. At least I want to try to do something different. What am I talking again? Yes. I'm sorry. I should sound a little natural. There's no script, there's nothing. I haven't prepared anything to do streams like this. It's now a little bit unhinged. No. Okay, I should yap about Color Fiesta a little bit. Color Fiesta, where should I start? It's a yearly annual artist convention in Vietnam that took place in Ho Chi Minh City. Probably the biggest one in Vietnam. Where it focuses solely on artists who loves anime, games, and manga, comics, a lot of stuff. It began in somewhere between 2018 or 2019, probably for a long time ago, probably 6 years. Yeah. And it has been a thing in Ho Chi Minh City for years now. I know sadly it didn't have, probably one like this. Because in Vietnam, people are probably too used on getting free and cheap things. The economy here is pretty low. But at least you can have some kind of event like this, just like Japan's Copycat. Like it's solely focused on artists and anime fandoms. Very big in Vietnam. So this year is about Bát Sat. It's Vietnamese tradition. There's a lot of people wearing outside, really outside, or any kind of Vietnamese traditional costumes and equipment here. I don't know what should I say in English. I don't know. So it's focused solely on Vietnamese traditional stuff. And kind of like very crowded here. It's happening on 2 days weekends. And most people choose to go on Sunday because Sunday is where most people have the free time. Yeah, probably most crowded. Over the past years, Color Fiesta took place in different kinds of convention centers until it focused solely on, the convention center in District Town. Well, that's District Town is what people used to call back in the day. Probably now they changed their name due to the law. The recent change in the country. So District 12 is not District 12 anymore. And what's it called again? Let me check. It's called Saigon Exhibition and Convention Center, located in District Town. It's now called Tân Mỹ. Yeah, it's pretty far from my home, probably over half an hour to ride my bike over there. It's pretty far, and the sports is called when the weather is not good, either too hot or rainy. Probably took an entire hour to get there, which is too far away. I mean, it's probably the biggest one in the Ultimate City right now. Well, the past one is a little bit small, and the kind of anime and gaming community in Vietnam just growing bigger and bigger every year. So it becomes stacked and eventually crowded at some convention centers. No longer have space to hold a lot of kinds of audience, customers, and venues moves. I mean, each year they invite more and more guests. Yes, mostly cosplayers and illustrators, which are popular around the world and in the industry. And so now most of the anime team conventions this year took place in Saigon Exhibition and Convention Center. Probably the biggest one in Vietnam right now. Even though it's the biggest one, it's still crowded. Because it's growing each year and it's growing in much more uncontrollable scale. Like people on staff at the center do everything they could to put on the crowded audience, crowded amount of customers, but I feel like it didn't change much. Just didn't change for any better. Today I arrived there at early 10 a.m. It's already crowded. Usually staff should let people stand inside their roof to block the sun and the rain. But today, I have no idea why. Feel like they're opening the online tickets for last minute. So people don't have actual money, or they haven't deposited their money out of the cash. So yeah, they prefer to buying online ticket because they don't have to carry real cash around as they fear of thieves going around such an event in such a large scale like this. Even then, it didn't help much. It created another issue. It makes the existing issues much larger. Usually the offline tickets line is going to be much more crowded because there are people who couldn't afford online tickets to buy offline tickets, And why? Today the online ticket line is so crowded and they made us staying under the sun. It's just hot. It's hard over there standing for maybe 1 but 2 hours. Some people even came from yesterday night. I have no idea why. Probably they're too excited or what, or they can't wait to get inside the convention, inside the event. People crowd like even from yesterday before the second day till today morning. I don't know if some people are even faint. It's very serious for your health. You're camping outdoors. I arrived at 10 a.m. and Even then, the online tickets line is still crowded. Like, why? Why they let us standing outside under the sun? I have no idea. We just stay under the sun. Like, I have to wait for almost an hour to get inside. Even though it's right on the time they open the venue, it's still crowded, man. All of the venues that, you know, it has a roof that block the sun, they were all used for food and drinks courts and Photoshop sessions. I mean, why don't they do the Photoshop sessions inside the venue? Like, take everything inside. Well, I don't know what should I say. Yeah, apparently all Photoshop venue for cosplayers were arranged outside and in an area that blocked the sun. Like, they want to cosplayers to stay inside, you know, stay inside so they can take all the kind of venues for all kind of event booths and event related stuff. Even though it's not enough, there are a lot of cosplayers in Vietnam, but most of them are for passions for a hobby and stuff. You know, they are not, you know, they don't have much budget to brand much further cosplays. So yeah. I still don't understand why they arrange this convention in those kind of area and venues like this. I have no idea. Yeah, we wait for, you know, each of us have to wait for, you know, like almost an hour to get inside venue, and then we have to wait for another line to a security check to check our badge ads. We have to stand in another line for a security check to see if our badges are safe. If our badge contain things that is very, you know, some kinds of like scissors or knives or very dangerous items like igniters or tobaccos, items that can cut things or burn things, dangerous items or explosive items. They have to be kept out from event to maintain safety inside the venue, inside convention. Every point we get in, oh my god, they are inside venue though. Has, you know, probably much better than outside because it's 10 or 11 a.m. It's already getting hot and we're sweating like crazy. Even some cosplayers, you know, standing under shade couldn't escape the heat. It's so bad. Weather is so bad, so we're too afraid of going outside ever again until, you know, until the convention ends, like, you know, evening. It's still hot, the heat is still there. Even it's already evening. Most of the weather in Southeast Asia is very, very hot. like it burn out skin like crazy. We're almost having heat sick, you know. Once we got in, before I get inside, is, you know, there's a gigantic booth that you have to go inside to experience, you know, the eye effect. I mean, there's a freaking big booth inside. Okay, you go into inside and there's... It's fine. Hold on. There's some makeup artists tables for makeup artists, so they can do makeups for cosplayers and guests. I think there's a large booth for, you know, for people to go inside and do some kind of cool 3D CGI effects inside there. And then there is you know, there's a kind of booth there, people displaying some kind of handmade costumes, handmade stuffs for fashion stuffs, carrying the themes of Vietnamese tradition. I mean, most of the costumes are really foreign with effects. Very beautiful costumes indeed. And then I go straight, and there's some mini game sessions where people do some kind of mini games. And then we turn left, going into the next venue, which is mostly arts alley, where most of the artists that registered for this event to have their own booths. I mean, they're not probably not the main booths, but kind of smaller artists and illustrators selling their merchandises for their kind of respective fandoms. Like, you know, yeah, that's artist alley. That's the main selling point of Color Fiesta. There's a lot of booths and lots of fandom from different IPs, from anime to games to mangas, you know, and some even original characters, original IPs as well. There's a lot of them. Also, there are also official merchandising booths that, you know, there are illustrating studios for mainstream having their own booths that in a specified area so they can sell their merch. Also, there's also welcome booths and HP fans. Yeah, you know, booths from tablet manufacturers. Probably I prefer personally I prefer the welcome booth because it looks a lot more interesting to me. There's also a session where people play Oz, you know, personal Oz, not Oz Mayo or Oz Typo or Oz Catch, just Oz. Where there's some tablet where people can testing out Oz here. Also, they're showcasing the welcome moving pad, you know, welcome moving pad that is running the Android device. It's, you know, At first, I expect work on tablets, the moving pad ones to run the Android OS. Until I watched a video from a Vietnamese illustrator. Have no idea. It can run. Sorry. It can run games like Genshin Impact, even though not quite the top performance. As a tablet, it's not designed for gamers. No. Solely for illustration and art related, digital art related jobs. It's pretty cool. I also hope to get the tablet with monitor once, so I can see directly on the screen and not to hook up on the main screen every time. The HP pen boost is okay, but it's just there. Nothing interesting. Speaking of the fan boost of other fans and fandoms, you guys are still very familiar with Demon Slayer, Chainsaw Man, or no? Lots of animes there. It is so hard for me to speak out because I don't speak like this much. I'm not a talkative person. I'm more of an introvert type. So it's difficult for me to express my words clearly and clearly. For my first viewers, sorry about that. I mean, there's also lots of anime games too, like the Hoyoverse, Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, and that. Lots of them. There are also, Art Knights, Blue Archive, Golden Waves. There's also Mamusme too. Jesus. Art Knight Sandfield. I mean, most of the gacha games at is early mainstream. Lots of type of fandoms of different IPs. Lot. There are also very more niche books like Dark Souls, Sonic, very much rare ones. There's even Resident Evil boosts. Oh, sorry. There's even boosts that doing Resident Evil arts, and probably the most recent game, Resident Evil Requiem. My God, I'm so popular. I mean, I saw an art where Leon get tied by tentacles, like the actual tentacles. Leon Kennedy get tied there, and then the tentacles is about to do very nasty things to him. Oh my God. I feel bad for Leon. Almost 50 years old, but just couldn't give it a break. No. Like Capcom and the entire fandom is gonna be milking him much longer. I mean, there's a lot of variety here, but seems like people in Vietnam rarely putting their budget to support the fandom and small artists there. and the artist's skill level is just, just very basic fundamental levels. Very few of the artist booths that has the very decent art style or very established profile on social media. I feel like most of the people who registered for Artist Alley in Coffee, probably they doing it for fun, or they're not caring about selling the merchandises at all. They're just there, they kind of like doing the for the sake of fandom. Even then, the amount of merch sold from fan artists still sold a lot. I mean, of course, it's not anime's very, a foreign culture from outside Vietnam, and it's not just the kind of mainstream. The only IP that's mainstream here is, a little bit of very friendly one, like Doraemon, Detective Conan, some kind of, One Piece, lots of that. I mean, there used to be Dragon Ball too, but Dragon Ball is more like kind of nostalgia here. And there's no new manga or new anime since Dragon Ball Super, so they couldn't they gotta have it back. So they're fighting a lot, and a lot of transformations. It was kind of like overforming of some kind, Those kind of IPs like Dragon Ball starting to fall off and paving the way for, anime IPs that had, very pretty art styles and, probably not into the fighting session and more like drama and some stops. There are also essence, but there's some kind of more human-like proportions and not too over the top like Dragon Ball. I mean, solo leveling might even get a spot over there, and even some Chinese manhwas and games. I mean, most of mass audience in Vietnam grew up with Chinese or even Korean dramas about politics or romance or some kind of other way around. They're not into much more fancy type of, fancy style. Like we Vietnamese grew up with Doraemon since the 90s. When the author of Doraemon visiting Vietnam, promoting Doraemon there, therefore it become mainstream. Until now, probably 2 or 3 decades later, it's still a thing. There's also a movie that's still releasing annually. Detective Conan is also the case. And yeah, Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer is, very popular among younger audience. Even though there are lots of bloody scenes, decapitations, lots of gore, but it's very popular among younger audience, Man, even kids nowadays, even though Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, thanks to media exposure like YouTube, TikTok, or yeah, other much more affordable streaming services like Bilibili. I mean, Bilibili used to be Chinese YouTube, but started into overseas markets and streaming services for watching anime and stuff. Like, it's still the same name but different kind of services. There's also collaboration events in games like Arena of Valor, Free Fire. This is Gaisen. Lots of games that is very popular in Vietnam. I mean, us Vietnam often play mobile, FPS, esports games, mobile or first-person shooter. Like we grew up playing games in internet cafe, so we don't have any kind of luxury playing in gaming consoles like the PlayStation or Nintendo. Yeah. So it's kind of difficult at that time. Even then, anime and game is still CS, some kind of harmful audience to most of the boomers. Because very much different culture and different, different time than us Gen Z doing today. I mean, there's a lots of popular anime books there, like Demon Slayer or Soul Leveling, or probably the Hyper Diaries, if I'm naming it right, because it's a Japanese novel take place in China, and then there's a green-haired girl, working inside a kingdom. I mean, it's a slice of life novel, and it has been adapted into manga and anime, and anime currently has a season 2 right now. And also, yes, Free Ran Beyond Tears End. Season 2 of Free Ran just ended, and third season will be aired in October next year. Man, that's pretty far away. What's up, boss? And it's okay if you miss, you can watch the archive. The stream will be archived, and you can come by anytime to hear what I am yapping about with my broken English. Sorry. There's also games like, there are also fandoms of, most of other fandoms like Blue Archive, for your games like Genshin, Star Rail, Then Last, Uma Musume, Arc Knights. Lots of them. So many of them still cosplaying Genshin or Star Rail. And probably Hoyo is probably become mainstream Vietnam right now. Yeah, the Chinese gacha games. I mean, Chinese gaming market also grow from free to play model. Like people don't have to pay to enter the game. They just spend money on in-game items, in-game cosmetics, loot boxes, and gachas. And Chinese game markets are benefit from this compared to Japanese gacha gaming market. It's just staying there. it stopped evolving because I feel like most of the Japanese gaming companies just stopped trying to innovate things because, you know, they're very small countries and, you know, they don't have, you know, kind of having enough large audience to promote their game, their IPs. That's why they just sitting there. You know, most of gacha games nowadays, you know, you just go into operation for probably like from 6 to 3 years, and then they go into to go end of service. I mean, the audience are already small, and the population in Japan is already aging. People are afraid of having getting married or having children because, you know, economy just going shit nowadays. It's a very depressing situation we're living in right here, right now. And yeah, Vietnam is also having aging populations too, where most people don't want to get married until they're already well established, until you know, kind of like age of 30. Most of our grandparents, our parents, back in the day, they getting married very early because, you know, for living conditions, they have to getting married early, so to stabilize their living conditions. Unlike now, living condition has somewhat, you know, some living conditions has improved a lot. Yes, it came a lot into another new problems. So yeah, people just stop this whole getting married altogether. Sorry, I might get into far from to other topics, but yeah, Japanese gacha games are much more popular in Vietnam because Vietnam also grew up with free-to-play games that don't require entry fee, and most people spend money on in-game items and lotteries. There are also, you know, lots of games that take place in China. No, I mean, take place in China, kind of like Chinese fantasies, or games such as Three Kingdoms. Because we Vietnamese, even our grandfather, even our grandpas, our fathers, and even us exposed to Chinese media in very early age. So yeah, Chinese media much more exposure here comparing to Japanese media. Sorry, my face is kind of like, you know, aging as I'm speaking too much. Man, speaking much more than usual. Probably my entire face getting tenderness, you know. Man. Okay. So where do I stop? So most of Chinese IP are much more exposure than Chinese IP in Vietnam. So there are also lots of Chinese media, like games and comics, animations, more than Japanese ones. That makes the whole like the odd one sound. Even though they have much smaller exposure in Vietnam, they're much more passionate and care a lot about those IPs than most of the mainstream IPs nowadays. They're not big, but they still have a very dedicated fan base comparing to a mainstream, where people just keep consuming like nothing happens. People just consuming like it's there, so we have to consume it. Lots of rules. I think, despite that, I think the amount of content in this season Color Fiesta is still a big plus compared to previous seasons. Still has lots of varieties. Even then, people just don't have enough budget to support. Feel like people just doing it for fun, just engaging with the fandom or the community. There are some books that has having some unhinged name and unhinged presentations. Like they open the books and then they're naming their books after develop OTP, develop shapes from certain IPs, for example. Like there's a ships of Albedo or Traveler of Genshin, they're named after their ships, and then we saw their merch for under that kind of ships, and anything Genshin, or another example, and then the boat, the factory must grow from Arknights and Phil, and then they produce merch for their memes, memes of the Arknights games. I mean, like the administrator being the penguin, because the design of admin looks like exactly the penguins, or turning the operators into their real animal counterparts based on the animals they are based from. Dragon Chan, Burfelgar, Donkey Amiya, lots of them. Like they turn any kind of contents into the merch non-stop. I think it's to be honest though, I think it's still plus points for me. Now, to the minus points, it lacks the consistency. Like it lacks, I know, like who is the best out of the best, who has the best or creates the style and the most consistent styles compared to other artists that participate. They don't have like decent artist style to begin with. They will start like recognizable level, and even some maybe very unhinged art style is still joining in, you know, like slowly for engaging with community and fandom. That's all. That's all. Nothing else. Okay, I probably talked too much about Fiesta boost. Should I talk about Hololive now? I'm not sure. For Hololive, where should I start? Yeah. Hold on, let me let my mouth to rest a little bit. Probably no one's watching right now, and you know, I don't even give a damn about this. As I'm very freaking small. Just a freaking small person inside the YouTube world, YouTube society. No matter. They might come by and say hi, you know. Then they might go into sleep. Because tomorrow is Monday. Pretty weird hearing my voice like that. I'm letting my throat to rest. My throat's not in best condition right now. So yeah. I probably stream a lot during the whole panel. I stream a lot. Jesus. Probably the first time, probably the only time I ever have been into the official holomeet panel with actual holomeet talents there. And what's to say? How many times have I repeated? How many times have I had to repeat this again? Like today was literally a big day for whole life fans in Vietnam. Yeah, literally, we had no idea this day would come. And yeah, we prepared for it. Some of us prepared for this for a long time right now. And I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing. We have whole Italians visiting Vietnam, and yeah, having heard enough good things about Vietnam, and also some of the bad things. But this is first time whole I have the official panel in Vietnam these events. Oh my god. There's a whole Shiowi that has been, you know, creating an account that posting every day just to until, you know, for like having an official event in Vietnam. And today's the day, so he stopped. He must be expecting that for a long time right now. Yeah, whole life is not that big in Vietnam, but you know, still had a very dedicated community there. Dedicated for art, for translation, for creating, you know, memes. Yeah. Really anything whole life. You know, since they announced whole life having an official panel here, I wait for this occasion to happen. Heck, I will draw whole life talents in outside. Start with yapping and then Ollie. I'm sorry about Ollie art, Ollie. I created your outfit much better than that, much better than, you know, just outline and some random basic patterns like out of nowhere. You know, other artists do a better job than I do. Too small artist, by the way. Though I didn't have enough time for improving my art. Still, as long as whole members notice our art and our crafts, there's enough for me to join. Like, even though it's just a like, I'm happy. And even always going so far, we're creating even the most random posts about, you know, fans or even her. Man, she's very dedicated to this, huh? Probably Ollie and Shiowi are sleeping right now because it's pretty late. Pretty late. In Europe and US, it's currently It's currently daylight now. January pace. Until the game mode stops. Jesus. Sure is just look unhinged with this kind of expression, you know? Yeah. Like, he has, you know, hitting you and you can't escape from her, you know? Even though you're a novelist or not, you're not going to kind of run away from her. Yeah. Just look at you menacingly. So when the news of Ollie and Shiowi coming to Color Fiesta, our fan base took lots of time to prepare. Heck, even felt standing like most of you know, conventions around the world does. And it's not that cheap. It's not cheap. Like, we have to be so dedicated on it. Otherwise, some artists even you know, try and create standings and yeah, fan booths of each talent respectively to welcome them to Vietnam, or more precisely Vietnamese convention event. Probably the first official presence in Vietnam, first time ever. First last year we only have you know, top bands like Lao Ban and Jimmy Whipshooter from Thailand. But now what we have here, official whole like talents showing up and doing an actual panel meeting fans in person. Though not technically in person. Yeah, they stream. They stream their presence, and then there's a cameraman filming the audience, people sitting on stage live. And yeah, we're not allowed to record anything at the venue, the stage. This is a Japanese company of Japanese culture of not recording things, even audio and video. Was that kind to maintain privacy and safety for each talents working in Japanese company. So yeah, there's no other way around. When I've been to the booth on a Saturday, one day before the main event, it was massive. Also, there's a small community called Miko Mats. Prepared standees and in a booth, official whole like meet booth, and then with dedicated staff, and then to separate fan booths, merge each other with fan signs, and then Shiowi and Ollie illustrate by fans in a team of Rockstar. Now they playing rock. Pretty bizarre, but still works. I have to take break between my voice and from her to rest a bit because man, I haven't spoke much like this. Sorry. Okay, you can. If you miss it, you can come back and watch my archive, you know. Pretty crazy for me. Streaming just myself as an audience. Pretty crazy. Yes. There's a group called Meeple Mask, and some of them even go into a Color Fiesta and, you know, Color Fiesta in Malaysia. Some of them flying to Japan and then joining Color Fiesta, Color Expo. You know, like they work for an entire year to secure their budget for only for that occasion. It's kind of like surreal. That's that. I'm still processing what's going on today. So yeah, I was kind of that. But I'll try my best. I'll try my best to speak wherever I can. No. I'm still processing emotionally. So I came to Color Fiesta for Saturday to check. Is there anything interesting for me to buy or and the whole life booth? Yeah, sorry for that. That's all. Like there's no other way around. I check if the booths are interesting and then the whole life booth was it fair? I think the file stands are very well made and well prepared. Violet and red. Yeah, those are all roses. And then between the file stand there's art of the whole life talents wearing outside from another fan artist. Also looks great. Also looks so great. Maybe I might keep this. I might keep this, I don't know. My was kind of bad by the moment. I don't know, just me or some other whole fans. Feels like emotional train break. Like every fun has an end. Party's over and people go back to their daily lives. Yeah, I'm still processing that. Even so, I'm still happy with today's event. I'm satisfied. Hearing my OC sing me directly, so I care. I wouldn't ask for anything else. Like, you got a chance to show your love to your OCs, and then you show your pussies, raise up pussies up and screaming, I'm here. You're like you were there. Very surreal. Yeah, I love that. There's also a group of fans called World Hall. Yeah, World Hall. They name themselves in English as World Sims and Friends. As you know, they sim whole life. They're friends that sims whole life. That's all. And that group of people also do kind of fan stuffs to engage with whole life community, like during some real life events, like coffee. To promote the whole life community to other people, so others might be interested. I mean, we already watched whole life for a long time now, but this is the first time whole life doing official event in Vietnam. After nearly 6 years. Even though circumstances are much different than back then, still blessed. Whole life still going strong, even though there's some situations like recently Holo Stars, very sad. I know what the SQ Lips were thinking when making decisions. Limiting Holo Stars activities. I feel bad for the boys. I hope the boys bounce back better than before. Yeah. Also, Holo Stars fans in Coffee as well. The Starmans. People cosplaying as Holo Stars talents. I mean, not one but two. I have a friend cosplaying as Miyabi. And then there's a person cosplaying as Estelita. And some other Starmen as well. When that Astel cosplayer, I know who that person was and why he or she was, not in the picture, not showing up. Probably they support the whole stars from shadows, Like the entire VTuber market is pretty much female dominated, thanks to Kizunai or Nishi Santi or indies like Sakuna, Zubi, Donkey Bird, or Samiko Saba. The entire VTubing industry is female dominated. Therefore, as Kira states that no matter how much talented you are, you have to face a harsh reality that either algorithm or people support can bring your traps into recognition. Yeah, luck from algorithm is not pretty. It's not pretty at all. Like the industry decide which is a thing and which is not. I feel like when that thing appears had its day under the sun, I kind of like return, kind of like step back and passing torch for other trading phenomenons. It's business after all. It's still business. Sorry. It's business, even though it's not great. I might be a dumb fool. Screaming just for myself and no one's come by, wherever. But it's okay. People can come by tomorrow. When they wake up, when they work, or when they go home from work, they can tune in here to listen. Knows. So apparently Color Fiesta or the fandom, whole like fandom in Vietnam, say, hey, it's pretty cool. Why not doing an official panel, official event in Vietnam? Okay, but first we need to find some kind of that's recognizable conventions and events in Vietnam, so we can do a panel there. Then they choose Color Fiesta, which is a little smaller than our current biggest one, Happy Horizon. Yeah, and it's art-centric convention, like literally Vietnamese copycat. So they chose there as for the holomeet panel, and then they go to two talents, which is much more friendly towards English-speaking countries. For example, Malaysia or European countries, or even the US. And they chose Poland talents that is very friendly to English-speaking countries, English-speaking audience. For our case, for Vietnam's case, they pick Ollie and Shiowi for this. Ollie's a super engaged Color fans, and fans alike. Meanwhile, Shiowi novella is very popular among Southeast Asia countries with her sassy vibes. She's a god girl, It's pretty popular to Philippines and some of the speaking audience. So we pick Ollie and Shiowi. It's on the research market in Vietnam. Okay. Yeah, like Ollie has interacted with Vietnamese fans before. It probably seems to be a stepping stone, to engage with Vietnamese whole like the fan community. So to understand them better, so I have to pick one or two whole talents that is very friendly and us more engaging towards the fans, Ollie often, retweets or even comments most of the random posts by snobbers or the whole fans, be it art or clip or moments or even music, everything. And then they give us time to prepare for some preparations to welcome Shiowi and Ollie. Having a fan of Vietnam. First, there's lots of fan art of Ollie and Shiowi to welcome them in Vietnam. I mean, most of them, the drawing, all of them wearing Vietnamese traditional costumes, mostly outside. Outside is probably the most recognizable Vietnamese traditional costumes. So yeah, we decided to stick with that and we draw quick fan off of it. Then boom. There's also, dedicated fan panels. So people can go out there and check in. Which they will be nice for their presence in Holland booths. Rest of the day. It's pretty chill. Alright, so we have the eater booths, eater bags, really anything to show support for whole life. Talents attending the event. It's massive. Fans gathering and participating like crazy. Even the bystanders didn't expect a whole life to grow this big and having presence in Vietnam. Just two most community friendly whole life talents. I feel like this is kind of the testing water for the creatures to come. We might expect Japanese whole life talents to attend to the Vietnamese event pretty soon. I mean, technically about the end of the year or next year. We don't know. We don't know for certain. That day might come. Sure, but. during the holomeet panel, the holomeet booths. We whole fans, focus on standing and sitting around there like crazy. We just standing there, camping there until the moment truth comes out. We got a chance to meet two talents on the screen and talking to us directly. So that we were having a whole lot booth, which is, you cannot film or record or taking photos there, even recording audio. Yeah, that's a funny story. Some fans even, prepared me more some 6-7 or Rotunana with people on it. But yeah, the 6-7 just keep going on. Even though it dies out, it died out. Rotunana 6-7, it's not right. It's still a thing. And then there's a guy holding, all the main panel and like Fabulous likes. My God, like he's a freaking Yuri enjoyer, which is pretty funny. We all laugh. And then there's Sugatomo carrying board like in Japanese. Tomorrow's Monday. Like he reminds us tomorrow's Monday, just like Canada does. Very funny. And then there are also lots of cosplayers, like hobbyists or personal ones. Yeah, the hobbyists. All like cosplayers everywhere at that time. However, most of the whole fans are male. That some even go beyond the lights. Cosplaying that's there. Aussies, even though they're female, it's crazy. which is also a bonus point for dedication, passion put into it. Alright. I think some of you remember at the Color Fiesta this season has 3 venues, and the whole meet takes place in last venue. Now the third venue we have to go inside in from the first, and then just going left, going left, going left, and then going left. There's a stage at the end of the venue where some kind of important events take place, like interviews, cosplay showcase, art showcases, and this whole the whole meet panel. It's crazy. And yeah, it's not crowded, but still massive, you know. Still massive enough to catch a glimpse of fans holding their plushies of their own seats, which is pretty cool. Not gonna lie. Also, I'm not doing streaming class or anything, you know. I'm learning everything by myself. Alright, time to tell the story of whole meet panel. So I sit almost near the stage, and then there's a cameraman on the left of the stage that's filming live of the entire audience down there. And then the live data will be transferred back to guests from far away. In this case, Shiowi and Ollie, so they can see us fans interact and interact with them real time. Yeah, like the moment they started, the panel started, and then some fans started to start them being boards up 6, 7 or 7 likes to Ollie and Shiowi, and I guess Ollie was like, "What the fuck is this?" Yeah, sorry. She did not say that, but I tried to interpret of what she said at that time. For reason in real time, feel like you expect us Vietnamese fans to go this far. Yeah. And then there's some artists that drawing Ollie and so we can say, like, oh. And yeah, they introduce us ourselves. There's also a Vietnamese MC that help supporting the panel going forward. and translating, a portion of what Ollie and Shiowi says. But since most of us can understand and speak English, so the MC only translates some difficult parts, so the audience can get a grasp of what's happening. It's pretty fun. And then the entire hour we spent to play a game called, Show and Tell, where Shiowi and Ollie showing a pixelated picture of their items of each categories, and then you can give both of them 2 questions of hints of what it is. Each time that they answer a question, they pixelate the image a little bit, so it might become much easier to guess. Okay, the first one is items that the talent themselves bring every time they fly to Japan. For Ollie is a small mini Ollie standee. For Shiowi is kind of plushie that has some kind of eyes to reach around. No, it's not a novelist plushie. I don't remember if they have it or not. And then the second one, I'm trying my best to remember what happened in Color Fiesta. Second item of the Show and Tell game is items that is only them had. Oh, not that yet. Items that they are very interested lately. But Ollie is tarot cards. But Shiowi is Ollie's taste is a little bit unhinged, since you're a Scott girl after all. Shiowi's taste is a centipede plushie. Pretty. Some of us even get as a lot of bread or some kind of furniture that way. I mean, that thing is still hold my hand. Yeah, Shiowi is there's some kind of weird obsession of the different kinds of plushies, which I just know. And then items that they didn't, they cannot miss. Very important to them doing streams. Like I keep holding it during streams. For Ollie was a plushie of a mascot bot. Oh, sorry, a plushie of a bird mascot of Miyabi from Whole Stars. Most of Ian have very good relationship with Whole Stars talents JP. So yeah, we keep holding it for each streams. For Shiowi's case, it's a freaking Shiowi's is a freaking praying mantis. Praying mantis. Let's see, that is long, similar. The praying mantis plushie. Actually, it's a plushie. I thought she's heading for some kind of animals like boss. I don't know, but yes, it's a little robust. Turns out it's a gigantic size plushie of praying mantis. We were nearly shocked But first we're talking about some kind of plan that Shiowi is planning right now. And then the last category is items that whole items themselves only have. For Ollie is Ollie is kind of whole like Indonesia 3rd anniversary art panel. 5th anniversary art panel covering all 9 whole life Indonesia talents. I should thanks whole life Indonesia for pave the way for better things going forward like this. Very grateful. And for Shiowi's case is some kind of diary called the Ingwell Chronicles that members of whole like in this event can write their story down there. Pretty cool. And then there's a video message where we send to Ollie and Shiowi to say hi and welcome to Vietnam. Like there are even Vietnamese YouTubers welcome them too, Vietnamese YouTubers and whole fans around Vietnam countrywide. Not everyone had the expense to flying to holomeet city to see talents in person. So yeah, we send video messages to say hi, welcome Ollie, and hope Ollie and Shiowi have a good time in Vietnam. Yeah. There's a whole like band named Small Latte. She's a cosplayer. She was really excited to get into the Color Fiesta to see like talents in person. Unfortunately, the plane prices got skyrocketed. I'm sorry. Unfortunately for that day, the price got hiked unexpectedly, and she had no choice but to, hold. She had to hold the trip to Saigon to see the talents, which is pretty bummer. I mean, why the fuck they raise the price for what? For me, it's still very frustrating for what happened. I think they prevent the fun. I know. It literally pisses me off with having whole events, being limited on transport options. They can't even travel to holomeet city due to the cost. Like, what you gotta do in holomeet city? You have to pay for travel, pay your expense for transport, and stay for the hotel. Yeah, it's not that cheap. I feel bad for some whole fans in Vietnam who couldn't travel to Ho Chi Minh City where the event takes place. It is a huge bumper. nevertheless, we have a blast there. You know, I kind of wish I could have spoken more, and I could have tell you more about, you know, Color Fiesta today. But man, I'm just getting tired. Probably I'm out of stamina right now. Spending my energy talking and drawing at the same time. Just not ideal. My social battery just ran out significantly due to me going around the venues and, you know, sitting for entire hours, enjoying whole life locally. But yeah. Me just like other fans around, pretty low of stamina. You know, like spending entire stamina for this occasion. Like I'm also been out. I wish I could talk more, but probably it's not ideal. I may see you guys in another stream sometime soon. Probably not soon, but sometime soon. Well, hope you guys will passing by this VOD can say hi. That's it, because no one's watching me right now. They're going to sleep. So yeah, that's all for today's streams. I might talk more about Color Fiesta, but my health conditions is not in great shape right now. So yeah, see you guys around. Bye. Bye and good night. Hope you guys have fun Monday. Man, Monday people must be very busy. Yeah. So if you can drop by this the stream VOD anytime. Thank you.